Hi, everyone. Welcome to Michelle on the Money. We're going to take a look at the big stories impacting your wallet in the bi-state from business to consumer news. So let's get started. Right now, athletic apparel retailer JD Sports plans on opening up 2 new stores right here in the Lou. The British chain is known for selling high-end footwear and athletic brands like Nike and Adidas. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, the first of the 2 new locations will open at the West County Center in Des Peres. That store is set to open sometime in early February. Now, the second store will be opening at the St. Louis Galleria in the spring of 2025. Also, a new coffee shop is coming to Kirkwood. That's also according to our Business Journal partners. On Monday, the Arkansas-based chain 7 Brew Coffee will open up on South Kirkwood Road, replacing an old Arby's building. The Kirkwood Coffee Shop will offer more than 20,000 drink combinations, and that includes lattes, cold brews, and energy drinks. 20,000, wow. We also want to bring you some more on a new spot that's going to satisfy your sweet tooth. Silver Spoon Ice Cream and Sweets is coming to House Springs, and we're reporting that it will open around late March or early April. It will also be right off Gravois, replacing the Singer's ice cream. Now, in downtown St. Louis, you're actually going to have one less brunch place to choose from. Simply Delicious on 6th and Pine has now closed. So this is video that you're seeing. We took it on Sunday, showing the lights off and no workers inside. In a social media post, the restaurant says the violence in downtown has left a negative impact on the volume and business. The owners of Simply Delicious say that they will be relocating to Chicago. Okay, let's bring you the latest on some job opportunities happening in our area. Right now, we can tell you that Metro Transit is looking for mechanics, caller ride operators, and both full and part-time Metro bus operators. Metro's hosting a hiring event tomorrow. It is happening at the Illinois Metro bus facility in East St. Louis. That is 801 North 47th Street from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Instant job offers will also be made to qualified candidates, and some of these positions actually come with a $5,000 signing bonus. Get this, you can also start looking ahead to find seasonal jobs. The St. Louis Zoo is planning to host several job fairs. The first is Wednesday, January 29th from 4 to 7 at the Living World entrance, which is on the north side of the zoo. But these are seasonal, part-time, and full-time positions for anyone who is 15 years and older. Open positions include catering and food service, attraction operators, and retail and parking lot attendants. Your hours could also include day or nighttime shifts. Dress is business casual, and advanced registration is not necessary. For more information about job openings in our area, you can just text the word career to 314-425-5355. Well, right now, major reforms are coming to Social Security. In today's Michelle on the Money special, we're going to give you more on what you can expect to see, as well as how those changes could impact your wallet. All right, for the first time in 2 decades, Social Security benefits are actually expanding. So this is one of the last changes President Biden signed off on before leaving office. And it could mean an average of $360 more a month for those getting Social Security benefits. Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial is here to explain the Social Security Fairness Act. Thanks so much for being here.
Glad I could be here.
You always have great advice. Okay, so it is called the Fairness Act because it gets rid of policies that really made it hard for public workers and their families, right? So yes. Can you explain?
Yeah, so like you said, 20 years ago, they put into a rule that reduced the Social Security benefits for any public worker. That's firefighters and teachers, state workers, federal workers, and reduced, if they worked outside of the public sector, any Social Security or credits that they earned. Mm-hmm. So what this does is it, number one, gets rid of that reduction in their benefits for any public service worker that's qualified for Social Security. And secondly, it gets rid of any reduction that their spouse might get. There are some people whose spouses get a pension, but also qualified for Social Security, and now they'll be able to get that full benefit.
Okay, and this also has some impact on part-time workers, right?
It does. It really does restore fairness, because if you're a public worker and you have a part-time job, you're paying into Social Security. And up until now, or at least for the last 40 years or so, any credits you earned, you weren't getting that Social Security, even though you deserve it. So now, as a part-time worker, you can build those credits for Social Security, and then when you retire, receive them.
It is kind of, I don't want to say crazy, but it does seem unfair that you would pay into something and not get the benefits. Like
Right.
you would be penalized for being a public worker or a part-time worker.
Yeah, they considered it almost double dipping is
Okay.
part of the rationale they did back in the 80s when they were trying to either extend the life of Social Security or reduce some budget deficits. But they've also been trying to reverse it for almost 40 years because, like you said, it is unfair for people that have paid into the system not to be able to get some benefit back.
Yeah, and especially if like part-time work was what you needed to
Yeah.
do in order to work for your family or something.
And to make sure
work.
that you
Yeah.
qualify for Social Security, if you were working that part-time job and then didn't realize that all of that effort didn't amount to an additional pension,
Yeah.
it really is unfair.
Okay, so from what I've read, my understanding is that there could be even a lump sum to make up for some of those benefits. Is that right?
Written into the law is back pay for those folks that were affected by these offsets for all of going back to January 1st of 2024. However, we don't know how it's going to be implemented or when it will be implemented because a lot of systems need to change. The Social Security Administration is not set up to change these pension offsets, let alone recalculate any missed payments for 2024 or calculate payments going forward. So it's going to take a lot of time for them to figure it out. It's going to take some money and it's going to take some people, which they're short of.
Okay, but nonetheless, the more we know, the more we can keep pressing.
I would call Social Security Administration and find out if you qualify for those benefits because they aren't going to call you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. On the flip side, though, does that mean that we will have to have more taxes at some point taken out, or taken out of our paycheck to kind of make up for, this equity issue?
Yeah, well, so experts are projecting that over the next 10 years, it could cost between $150 and $200 billion over 10 years. So we have to make up that shortfall. So one of the ways is to increase taxes on our paychecks. Right now, combined between your employer and yourself, you pay about 6.5% into Social Security. That could go up. They could increase the cap on earnings. There's lots of things that Congress and the federal government can do to offset it, but most likely we will see some sort of tax increase to pay for it.
Okay, and you did already mention some challenges. I'm also wondering if experts like yourself or other experts out there foresee any issues with something changing maybe under a new administration.
Well, it's up to the current administration to implement this law, and it just went into effect on January 7th. So we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So who knows what's going to happen? But hopefully they will do this and right what is a wrong for a lot of people. In Missouri, it's projected to be tens of thousands. Nationwide, it's almost 2 million people that are affected.
Wow. Yeah, anything to help people make ends meet. So important. Thank you so much, Jeff.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Okay, to learn more, you can go to ksdk.com, and we will also link you to Sachs Financial. Well, let's switch gears here for a second, because if you're looking to get away from the cold weather, we are right there with you, and we want to help you save some money. So we're bringing you 5 tips from travel experts on ways that you can reduce your spending on trips. Flexibility really is key here, so that includes your destination, the time of year you visit, and the days of the week you travel. It is generally cheaper to fly midweek. A lot of people know that. Booking at the right time is also important, and domestic flights are often cheaper when bought about 1 to 3 months ahead. So try and book directly with your hotel. Many hotels offer price match guarantees or loyalty member discounts that you might not know about. And then finally, set flight alerts using sites like Google Flights or Hopper to monitor prices and snag deals when those fares drop. Planning to travel to Europe anytime soon? Well, you may want to listen up as well, because today Consumer Watch's Jen Sullivan brings us the latest on the new travel requirements that you need to know about.
Heading to Europe this year, there are some big changes that travelers need to be aware of. As of January 8th, Americans traveling for less than 6 months to or through the United Kingdom, that includes England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, will need what's known as an electronic travel authorization. It's basically a digital registration to get into the UK.
That is something that you apply for with the UK government, gov.uk.
All U.S. citizens traveling, even children under 18, need to apply through the UK government website or through the app on their website. You'll need to upload a photo of your passport, as well as a photo of yourself, and answer various questions about your trip. It takes about 20 minutes to complete. There's also a fee. It costs £10, which is roughly $12.25, depending on the exchange rate. Travelers must fill it out and pay for the ETA before their trip. It takes about 3 days to be approved, but UK officials warn it could take longer.
Once you're approved, it's good for 2 years, so you don't have to keep filling out the form.
So what happens if you forget to fill it out?
There is a chance that you will not be allowed in the country.
Later this year, the European Union will also be rolling out new travel forms. It's called ETIAS. When those go into effect, they will cost about $7.70.
You need to just account for that when you're putting together your budget for your big European vacation, and understand that as time goes on, more and more countries are going to require them, and those seemingly small fees can certainly add up.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
All right, well, there you go. Right now, binge watching your favorite movies and TV shows may cost you a little extra right now, because starting next month, Netflix will be increasing the cost of its subscription plans. The ad tier goes up to $8 a month. The commercial-free standard plan increases to $18, and the premium plan will be $25. The premium plan allows you to add extra members, though, to your account. How about that? All right, more now than ever, a new partnership between Dierbergs and Uber Eats will make grocery delivery options a lot easier. So Dierbergs made this announcement on Monday, saying that this will bring enhanced convenience to customers. And if you are new to grocery delivery and you want to give this service a try, you are actually eligible for a 50% discount off your first grocery purchase of $50 or more. No code is required there. And then finally, check this out. When it comes to the best states to raise a family, Illinois actually ranks number 7 in America. Missouri falls behind at 27, but Wallet Hub compared all 50 states to determine the best place based on family fun, health and safety, quality of public schools, and child care, and then also affordability. So the top 3 states were Massachusetts, Minnesota, and North Dakota. But according to the USDA, it can cost over $300,000 to raise a child to age 18. That hurts to hear, doesn't it? Well, that's going to do it for our top consumer stories of the week. Thanks for joining us for Michelle on the Money. And don't forget, for more stories like these, be sure to join me every day on Today in St. Louis at 6 a.m. In the meantime, we're going to see you again next weekend right here on the 5+ app.